All right, here we are, Impact and Influence Radio right here on iHeart. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Blinds of Sacramento, Sacramento's complete solution window covering experts. Give them a call, 916-790-8689 or blindsofsacramento.com. Now today I got another scam call. Look at that. My phone just will not stop with the scam callers. All right, so today we have Porsche Middleton. Her name is my favorite name. And it's spelled the favorite way. I am a Porsche junkie, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Have you ever had Porsches?
I have not,
You
but
need to.
I rented a couple when I go travel.
With the start on the other side?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
That's so nice.
Yeah, when I met my wife, I had a Porsche, and then it was like falling apart, so we sold it, and then she went and bought the same exact car, almost identical. It was like 2 or 3 months after we met, and I was like, all right, I'm marrying this one. and we still talk about those cars. We don't have them anymore, but yeah, we still talk about it. So we have Porsche Middleton, getcareathome.net. We're going to be learning about what she's doing for our community, and thank you for being here. And how are you, my dear?
I'm doing well, and thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. So we're going to be learning about care. You're going to be you work with seniors, I'm assuming.
And that's a really common misconception. I work with seniors, yeah, but really what it is that I actually do in-home specialized memory care.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So just not just with Alzheimer's, dementia, those typical things. Like when you have a student athlete who has a TBI, a traumatic brain injury.
That's right.
We are there because you need to make sure that you're engaging these people in a particular way and not just watching them to make sure they're not hurting themselves.
Yeah,
you want to make sure you're keeping that cognitive juices flowing.
So what got you into this? I mean, did you just one day wake up like me with the magazine, like, I'm going to start a magazine?
Actually, this was unfortunately, out of necessity. My grandpa lived in Oakland. I'm in Sacramento, and he had onset dementia, and he declined rapidly. And we couldn't find him care in home. He didn't want to be in a facility, and because he didn't have that expertise, we lost him. I feel way too soon. He lived to be the ripe age of 93, but it was just. Those last few months were so traumatic for us because we were searching for care, couldn't find it, and what we needed wasn't available in home.
He lived longer than Chuck Norris. I think that says a lot.
Oh, because Chuck Norris, that's a serious dude. I love that guy.
He passed away this morning.
Oh my gosh.
He passed away this morning. Yeah, 86 years old. So you're 93. He outlived Chuck Norris. So I gotta tell you what you've got there is a pretty strong dude himself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. But oh my God, Chuck Norris?
Yeah.
I mean, his beard could fight people.
Right? The joke actually is that death came and asked him permission. is what everyone's saying.
Oh my god.
And he's the bodyguard now at the pearly gates.
Perfect position for him.
Yep. He's the Texas Ranger up there. Yeah, absolutely. So, this was her grandfather? Is that what you're...
Yeah, my grandfather.
Your grandfather.
Army veteran and worked all his life. I think he retired at some total of 3 times.
Yeah, tough as nails.
Right.
Clearly tough as nails. What did he do in the Army?
He was a mechanic. So he fixed everything imaginable, planes, tanks, everything. So when we got our first boat, we had a sailboat. He's like, oh yeah, that engine is actually in this engine that I used to work on when I was in the military. I'm like, there was nothing he could not fix.
Yeah, so he's tough as nails.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So he was dealing with, was it Alzheimer's?
It was just, they gave it a blanket thing of dementia.
Okay.
Right? Because there's several different types.
Yes.
And because he was so much older and it happened so quickly and the decline was so fast, it was it's just a severe cognitive decline and you just kind of got to navigate it as best you can. But we knew something was up when one day during the summer he was driving back home from Target. He's been living in Oakland for over 50 years. He got lost and couldn't tell us where he was.
Yeah. My grandfather, he was a Navy pilot, and he was like the rock of the family. And I mean, again, tough as nails. I remember he was, pushing 80, and him and I were sprinting across the parking lot, and he could dang near beat me. At 80 years old. And
those folks were built different.
And then one day, he bumped his head on the garage door, and that was it. That was it.
Those are those injuries we're talking about.
That was it.
It seems like it's so minor, so small. Like, oh, it's just a bump on the head.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
You know, we get the call. Grandpa bumped his head. He went to the hospital. He's okay. And then, you know, and then he's gone. That was it. It's just the craziest thing. And you're like, this man was, again, he was like a refrigerator. I mean, he was just so strong. Craziest thing.
Yeah. It's folks don't realize that when you're at that age and those injuries, if not treated and not watched, we don't know how they impact.
Well, that was when Chuck had a medical emergency. I think he fell, and then that was it. That was it. It was just horrible. So your passion comes from family. Your passion comes from, you know, seeing this right in front of you, and you're like, you know, I want to be a part of this. And so, were you already in that space, or at this moment you were like, well, you know, I'm doing this. I think that we should help other people at this point. Is that kind of the direction you were going?
That's the direction I was going. I saw that there was a need, and being a military brat and, like, you know, having this long lineage of, you know, folks that say you want to see a problem, find a solution. You can't sit there and complain about it. And I have a 10-year-old.
My wife and I, we go, I'm not going to cry about it. We're just going to figure it out.
Right, you have to. I mean,
Yeah.
and I have a 10-year-old who is nonverbal, has autism, and there's a cognitive issue there as well. And I said, well, you know what? It's not just for our seniors. It's for anyone who has those kind of issues.
Explain that to me, because I'm ignorant. Explain that to me. Nonverbal autism. They're a baby. They're a beautiful baby. They're smart. You see them develop, and they just never talk.
Or when they do speak, it doesn't quite make sense. They have there's a processing issue within their mind that the things don't connect the right way. And we don't know why that is. And it's very actually similar to dementia and Alzheimer's, where, you know, like, these people have aphasia. They're cognitively processing what's going on, but they cannot physically get the speech out.
Bruce Willis doesn't know that he's an actor.
Right.
At this point, he has no recollection of it.
Right.
That's insane. The whole world knows this man as an actor, yet he doesn't know it himself.
Right.
That's insane. So with your son, does he have a superpower? Is he a genius in another space?
This kid actually can make lots of mimic noises. Like, you remember, what's that, Beverly Hills Cop?
Yes.
And yes, that guy that could make this. He does that.
When oh God. Hold on. Winslow. Michael Winslow.
Yes.
I didn't have to Google it. Michael Winslow, yes.
And he also, at the age of 3, taught himself how to read. Like, so he can read. He's hyperlexic, and that's his superpower. But the thing about it is, he can do all those things, but he can't get those words out.
We used to know a savant. There's like 30 in the world. You know, Rain Man. And so this woman, she couldn't do anything on her own, and she was blind. But you could walk up to her and you can say, you know, what was the third word in the second Beatles album? And she would know. Like, she just knows it. And then you could say, okay, well, what time is it? And then she'll tell you exactly, and she'll, like, count the seconds. And she'll go, okay, dinner's almost ready, and then dinner will be ready. It's just the weirdest thing, because dinner had to be ready at a certain time, because the people that were inside this home lived on these routines.
Right.
And she could literally, it was the weirdest thing. I mean, it was incredible. And it's sad at the same time, but it was incredible just to carry these conversations with these people.
And that's the thing about when you're dealing with this kind of population, these individuals, they thrive on routine.
Yes.
And so it actually helps to strengthen.
And then you and I don't want to be in the same place at the same.
Oh, I can't.
I know.
Oh gosh. I mean, but I'll watch episodes of The Office over and over again. But if I have to, like, go into the office every day, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly. Types of clients. What are you looking for?
So I am looking for individuals, like, especially our youth, and when they're out there playing soccer, football, baseball, they have an injury. I'm looking to be that person that the parents turn to actually know what kind of questions to ask, what to look for, what to watch out for. And I'm also looking for those individuals who are caring for those who have some type of dementia, who don't want to put their loved ones in a facility yet, but, you know, are struggling to manage the behaviors and kind of keep them engaged and feel like they're really doing the right thing.
That's such a tough space too. That's such a tough space. I mean, you know, putting your you know, you get married, you have this beautiful moment. They say you have 4 happiest moments of your life. You have the day you get married, your first child, what was your first house?
Yeah.
And your first Porsche, and then and then you have these memories, right? And so after somebody gets sick or somebody gets hurt, they get into a car accident or whatever, and you have to put your this loved one, this person you walk down the aisle with, whatever, you have to put this person into a home. I couldn't imagine what that's. My wife, if I had to do that with my wife, I don't know how I would function.
And that's a very difficult space for folks to be in, and sometimes they rush it, and then they regret it. And we want to make sure that they have that space and time to really think about it and make sure they're picking the right facility. Our job is to give you as much space and time and more time to create those good memories. So when you do have to make that decision, because we know that that's most likely going to be the case, you feel good about it and you've prepared yourself. Because that's the worst thing. We didn't have that time to prepare with my grandpa. And so when we put him into a facility, it just broke our hearts. I mean, he had injuries. People weren't taking care of him. Like one time he was wandering the streets of San Francisco and no one knew where he was.
It reminds me of Uncle Junior on The Sopranos. Do you remember? Did you watch The Sopranos?
Not really. I wasn't.
Oh, man, you got to watch The Sopranos. Yeah, no. Uncle Junior, strong as an ox. And then he starts to get, I think it was dementia. And he's walking along the East Street Bridge, at 2 a.m. It's crazy. And he's a mob boss, which was like, what was interesting about that show is that show is like, a lot of people don't realize that show is based off of a lot of truth. And, yeah. And so like all the stuff that you see in those movies, or in that show was all off of like real life events. And what was happening was the mob was calling the producers and the actors and saying, "Are you guys like spying on us? Like this happened last week, and then now you're putting it in the show."
That's an awkward conversation.
It was very awkward. Yeah, it's a funny story. There was this one time. So Tony Soprano comes down in his shorts, and one of the neighboring mobs called James Gandolfini at home and said. He literally, the guy, hello, and he goes, "A Don doesn't wear shorts," and then hung up the phone, and then it creeped him out the entire time because he was like, "Who called me?" Nobody ever figured it out, but it tripped him out. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a good thing to know. Take the shorts. Don't wear them.
It was a funny thing. It was a funny. His next door neighbor. So James Gandolfini loved classic rock, and one day he was at home. He had a little apartment in New York, and he's blasting his music, and the next door neighbor comes over and knocks on the door, and James Gandolfini opens the door, and the guy freaked out because he thought Tony Soprano was next door, and he's like, never mind. Oh my God, it's so funny. All right, your story. So, where did you say you're a military brat? I'm a military brat. I get it. You moved around and did the whole thing, and your parents and raised with an iron fist and the whole bit.
Oh yeah.
And then but where did you get into this space where it came into public service? Because you do other public service too, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But where did all of this come from? Were you always a servant? Absolutely.
I came from a family of 9. I'm the middle child. I have 8 brothers. I am the only girl.
So you're like, well, I guess with the only girl, that'd be different. I'd say, you're really like the middle child syndrome. But then I guess if you're the only girl, then you've got like 8 bodyguards.
Right. It was really tough to find my husband and get married. Like I said, there was a lot of approval process, a lot of rounds of interviews there.
He's got to be a pretty tough dude, right?
He is, yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. How does that work, though?
You know what? It was very simple. We were at University of Louisville. They were working out at the student gym, and they were doing the same kind of workouts, and they liked the Jay-Z, what was the Black and Blue album, something Jay-Z, and they're like, "Oh, he's cool. You can marry him." And I'm like, "Oh, that was the decision maker."
Yeah.
Not
I married in a Russian culture, and they were like, you can't marry a Russian unless you're Russian. And I'm like, my grandfather's from Odessa. That's Russian enough. Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Basically what it came down to. They're like, yeah, you've got 12% Russian blood. You're good.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, okay. That's literally how it went.
For them, it was just like they found some things that they all had in common, and they were like, okay, good enough. And I'm like, oh, like, we're not going to say, can he build a house? Like, is he smart? Like, no, none of that matters. I'm like, okay, cool. But he turned out to be all those things, thank goodness. But yeah, the things that folks determine are like important.
But where did the public service come in, though? I mean, was this something that you did early on, high school and all of that? Were you student council and all that stuff?
I was student council. I played sports. My dad always said, no matter where we were stationed, he said, all right, you get in the community and you figure out what the community problem is and create a solution. And you do it for free. Like, you're going to go out here, you're going to volunteer, you're going to do the thing. So I've been doing that all of my life.
Man, you definitely had a different military dad than I did. Holy smokes. Okay.
Oh, I mean, like front leaning rest, push-ups, cleaning, duty roster.
No, we just got the crap beat out of us.
Same. I mean, like, we can't, good grades, like, like discipline, iron fist. But so it made me like really dedicated, but it also taught me, to protect those who can't protect themselves.
I wish my dad was more military, though. I wish he was more military and less abusive. I wish he, made us bounce a dime off of the bed and made us do our push-ups and made us eat our vegetables. But we didn't have any of those things. We had all the stupid stuff. I got into entertainment because my dad's an audio guy. So, I had recording studios at 10 years old, that kind of stuff. And
maybe that's something that's like common with military folks. My dad was a huge audiophile. So like everywhere we went, we'd have to like set up the speaker system for him.
Oh my God. There's our commonality. There it is. You're 5 years old, pressing the little button, waiting for him to tell me to push the button again.
Yes. And then like stripping the wires and don't take too much off.
Oh, we used to make our own speaker cable too. What is the deal with that?
I don't know.
Did your dad have old Klipsch speakers? The old like Klipsch heresies?
Yes.
You know why that is? Is because Paul Klipsch was really smart. He was out of Wisconsin, I want to say, like Killamatoo or something. Michigan. He was out of Michigan. And so what was interesting about Paul Klipsch was that he was trying to figure out where to distribute his product. And he said, the best place is people that have a little bit of money, and that's our military. So we're going to put them into the BXs and PXs. And that's what he did, is you just put them in the military bases. And that's why, yeah. Isn't it the funniest thing?
It is.
So you grew up around all that stupid crap, too.
Yeah, and to the point where my husband is now a huge audiophile and has his vinyl collection and Marantz and, like, has to, like, set everything up. And I'm like, oh, my, just turn on the daggone TV so I can watch my show.
We don't even have a TV in the house. We just have... What's actually funny, and I can tell you this because you would know what the hell I'm talking about. So what's funny is we had the Martin Logan electrostats with the Macintosh in the middle, and you're just like, oh, good Lord, yes. I know, very familiar. And no TV in the house, right? So we would just have our hi-fi listening space. And years later, we realized how stupid all of this was. And so we ended up just buying, Klipsch has this... It's still part of their Heritage series, which is still part of the Klipsch horns and the La Scala's bells and heresies and some of the other Cornwalls, some of the others. But it's just this little Bluetooth, solid wood Bluetooth speaker. And we just have it sitting on top of the cabinet, and we just turn our phone and we press play, and it plays. And it sounds great. It sounds like Klipsch, but it's just this little box that plays the music. And we sit on the sofa. We still don't have a TV in the house. And... that's our hi-fi listening. But yeah, I grew up around this crap, I swear to God.
It's so funny because like we had a TV, but 30 minutes a day was all we could have. And then my dad had like the reel-to-reels. And so he'd pull down the projector and like all the stuff, like, I swear it came from the Smithsonian. I'm like, oh my God, this is like ancient, Dad. And it smelled like mothballs. And we'd have to sit there and watch and re-roll it up. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so terrible.
When I started recording, this is how long I've been doing this crap. When I started recording all the stuff that you see here, we were using reels. I was using an old Pioneer RT707 and I had the little, I had two stacked on top in high school. I had two Nakamichi RX202s, the one with the thing that the tape comes out and flips and it goes back in.
Yeah.
This stuff is awesome today. It's like totally retro, but
back in the day, it was like, oh my good
that
Lord.
Was really cool stuff. I mean, that was like space age, And so, yeah, that's what when people say, it's so funny. My buddy will come over and he'll be like, yeah, you need to get this digital converter. I'm like, no. And then the recordings are so much better. That's why we have this little box now. And yeah, it's just so funny.
Yep.
It's so funny. All right. So, your new hobby. What's your new hobby?
So last week, we went to House of Moons in Citrus Heights. I have a friend who's been doing jujitsu forever. And he's like, you have to come out. You have to try it. It'll help you with your stress levels and everything. And I'm like, oh, no. So I finally went out. My husband and I, we did date night there. Had a blast. I mean, it was just, didn't know what I was doing. I was so uncomfortable, awkward. I learned I cannot ninja roll to save my life. So that's a whole thing that I have to learn now. But supporting a local business like that and a friend and learning a new skill, I mean, the bug just bit us and we are so excited.
Jessica Claveria started Taekwondo a year or two ago now. She's our blind to Sacramento. And she's like, I can do anything. You meet this woman, she's the strongest woman you've ever met in your life, okay? I mean, she is a spitfire. And so, and she's like 5'1", and she beat the crap out of me. And she says, let me tell you, doing the Taekwondo is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah. Because you walk in there and you're like, oh, I can totally do this. But you have to learn the form and you have to be able to move a certain way. And your body wants to do something else.
Absolutely different.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I thought I was spit. I run, half marathons, 5Ks. We work out, strength train. My quads still hurt. And we went to our first class, on a Tuesday. And here we are on a Friday. I'm like, oh, my goodness. I am still in pain. And I love it.
Amazing.
Because it's a challenge. And I feel like when you do those kind of challenges, it helps your brain stay active and healthy. You have to do things that you're not comfortable with to stretch yourself.
And so I want to touch back on a really, really important element here, and that's the city council. So you're doing city council. What are you doing with these guys? How long have you been, and who are you with?
I've been on the city council. This is my 8th year.
Holy smokes!
Prior to that, I was on the planning commission, and just
for Citrus Heights.
For Citrus Heights, and that's just that service piece. I love helping and solving problems. Like, oh, we can't do this. Sure, we can. Let's figure out all our resources, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle for me. It keeps me really engaged, and I'm now the vice mayor, and I'm loving it because now we have the sports complex that's coming to Citrus Heights at the mall site, and there's so many exciting things that are happening, and it will have more engagement in our community.
I was reading all about that. I guess Folsom turned it down or something.
Yeah, and Citrus Heights was right there to swoop in and say, we really did. And we're like, we want it, and we're going to make it happen, and that's really exciting because the entire community got excited. We have residents who used to walk the mall, like our older.
I used to have a store in that mall.
Really?
Yeah, I became homeless after my store went out of business in that mall. Yeah, I had a motorcycle shop in there.
Wow.
Yeah, that was God, how many years ago is that now? What year are we in? 14 years ago. Feels like yesterday. Yeah, actually, I might even have a picture or two of it here. So keep going while I find this picture.
Oh yeah, so we have these seniors who love to walk the malls, but it's kind of like, in disrepair and stuff. And so this sports complex will actually have an area where they can walk around and be able to see at the upper levels of the city. Oh, and they'll still, so we're replacing it with something that's newer and upgraded, but also we're making sure that the community is still connected and involved. We don't want anyone to feel out of place or feel like they have to stay at home.
You probably recognize the space too. It's right on there on the end at the entrance.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I do know that space, yes.
Yeah, that space has been vacant for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I loved that store. It's funny as I went over there not too long ago. Yeah, look at this, more junk calls. I went over there not too long ago, and you peek in through the window. You can still see some of the stuff that I installed in there, and I mean, it's been 13 years, and some of my stuff is still in there, which I think is just heartbreaking, but... It
is. Sometimes when things start to change, right, and malls are not really... doing what they used to do back in the 70s and 80s, and we have to pivot. And that's the same thing when it comes to anything in life. With me, and I said, I'm running, but my knees ache and hurt. Let me try a new sport. And it just turns out that everyone says, oh yeah, you're doing jiu-jitsu, yeah, because you're combative. And I'm like, oh, I think I'm actually a really nice person. I don't think I'm
like that. It's not like that. It's not that kind of combative. People say I'm combative too. Yeah, if you bring it out of me. Right? If you bring it out of me, then I'm going to put a stop to it. That's the military in us.
Okay.
That's the military in us. It's the Saturday morning before breakfast, you have to make sure the house is
clean.
Top to bottom.
Yep. Base sports too.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Around the light switches, around the front door and the handles, the whole, and it's just the discipline.
I had to tell my boys, they just were in disbelief. I said, we used to have to sweep the carpet because we didn't have a vacuum cleaner. Like, what do you mean sweep the carpet?
We had to pick up the spots.
Yes.
Pick up the spots. And so we just come from a different generation, you know,
I'm like,
and the speakers and all this stuff. We had the same houses. We all had the same furniture because all the furniture came from military bases.
Exactly.
And we could literally describe it. And we had the same dishes and we had the same. It's just the way it was. It's just a different time. It was a different time. And all of our parents drove Toyotas for some reason.
Oh, my goodness. Well, my dad also, his favorite car was a Yugo.
My dad had a Toyota Tercel, the same thing, but the Japanese version.
I'm like,
the little hatchback. We had two of them. We had a blue one and a red one.
He had the blue one. I'm like, oh. How are you going to fit all his kids in this tiny little car?
We did. We fit all the furniture. We moved in them. We did everything in them. It was the craziest thing. I remember my dad. He had two boys, and it was himself. And he had this little Toyota Tercel hatchback, 1990 Toyota Tercel. You remember how small those piece of junk cars were? And I remember he saved up for months, so he bought himself this beautiful Lazy Boy sofa. You know, one of those three.
Oh, they always had the Lazy Boy and the flip
things,
up.
Yes. We fit that whole damn thing in that car and the two boys. And my dad drove home, and I swear to God, the seats were in the and we drove on the freeway with two boys. My little brother was on the floor, and I was in the seat with my brother between the legs, and we had the sofa hanging out the back. It was the craziest thing.
This is so incredibly
and
honoring.
You were in Oakland. Did you grow up in Oakland as well?
I did a little bit of growing in Oakland, Texas, Louisville, Kentucky. Like we've been all over the states.
We were in Richmond and Hayward during all this era. So were you in Oakland during the fire in '91?
No.
Yeah, so we were there at that time. Yeah, we had somebody else in here. What's actually funny is we've had like 3 or 4 in the last month. We've got 3 or 4 people from Oakland actually, which is really cool. We should get all you guys together. We can all just tell stories.
Oh man, I bet we have.
This is our stomping grounds, man. This is the craziest thing. This is our stomping grounds.
Yeah, we could ask them about Yoshi's. Like, do you remember Yoshi's?
Oh hell yeah, we remember Yoshi's. Absolutely. We had Clara in here, and she's so my favorite place to always hang out is Malibu. And so her favorite spot's in Malibu. So she was telling me all her favorite places. And I was telling her, like, this is the best beach to go to. And she's like, where is that? And as I'm describing it, and I'm drawing it on the map. I've got the picture in here somewhere. And she's like, oh my God, I know exactly where that is. Yeah, we're all the same. I think that's the thing that's crazy is we're all the same. Where in the world is Clara? I don't know. She's in here somewhere.
With the story about the Lazy Boy, because I don't know what it was, but every family I knew, like, their dads were like, that was the big thing. They had to save up and get the Lazy Boy. And like, it was, for some reason, it was always Hunter Green.
What?
Hunter Green.
Hunter Green. What was the story with that? It was a green sofa. I wasn't going to say that.
I don't know. It was like...
And the freaking oil paintings. They had these big-ass oil paintings of deer and birds.
And panthers and weird... Yes.
Our parents were just so weird. We were all the same. It's just the weirdest thing.
It's like we could have just traded this out. Like we would have fit right in.
Dude, I bet you if I took you to my dad's house, your dad lived next door. Oh my God, military people are just too funny, man. Too funny. It's just too funny. All right, so let's wind this back down. GetCareAtHome.net. What does this site do? What is it? And how can people get involved?
You go there. It has all kinds of resources about how to make decisions, or if you need help and support, it has our phone number, it has an intake form, and we will reach out and call you within 24 hours to make sure that we can get you whatever resources you need. Even if it's not with us, I don't believe in leaving anyone without an answer. Mm-hmm. And that's just probably the military part, right? Where, you know, if I don't know the answer, I'll find it. We'll get back to you.
And we'll get back to you. And we're not going to let you down.
No, you can't.
I can't go.
I can't do that.
I can't just not respond to people. How do people not respond to texts? I don't understand it.
It's kind of what. Well, I'll tell you what. If I don't respond to a text, it's probably because I don't like you.
I just block it. If you go from blue to green, you know why. All right. Porsche Middleton, 916-622-5088. 916-622-5088. GetCareAtHome.net. Anything we want to add before we get out of here?
Try new things. It'll actually keep your brain healthier. It'll keep your body healthier, and it'll help you live longer. Do the tough stuff.
Absolutely. Porsche Middleton, 916-622-5088. GetCareAtHome.net. GetCareAtHome.net. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for listening. And how many other people had a Hunter Green Lazy Boy sofa at home? Oh my God. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.